Now there's been a lot of controversy regarding this game and an account being shut down and all this other stuff, but today I think we sort of had our moment of truth because there was the game between a Dewa, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to go there. Okay, so we're gonna start by covering this game between the international master GothamChess and Dewa Kipas, rated 2311. This game was played some days ago now. I think it was about a month or a little over 1 month. And we'll take a look. Okay, so d4, knight f6, knight 3, e6, pretty standard. G3, b6, Queen's Indian defense. Okay, Levy plays c3, b3, pretty normal. Okay, d5, a little bit odd to play bishop a6, d5. Not crazy insane, but d5 feels much more natural because there's nothing preventing bishop a6 and knight b4. So a little bit unusual, nothing too crazy yet. Bishop f1, trade, knight e4. Okay, king here, a3, pretty normal. Okay, f5. Okay, g5, pretty normal, I would say. Not too insane. Okay, bishop d6 is already actually rook c7, not a normal move here for sure. Queen d7 and rook f7 all look a little bit normal, but rook c7 is not that crazy. Okay, queen g5, knight c4, queen e2, queen f5. Okay, yeah, actually this gets a little bit weird right around here. This is kind of odd. Already black is much better, but rook f7 is a much more logical move than queen e4 check. Rook f7 is a very logical move. Actually, I think I would play it in like half a second. But queen e4 and rook f5 definitely a little bit strange to play like this. And then yeah, just knight e5 and knight f3. Also here again, rook f6 looks, I guess rook f6 allows bishop e5. Queen b1, again, very surprising move here, because I think just, well, maybe not. I mean, actually the whole thing here, you have to see the whole tactic to the end, because I guess if you take with a pawn, there's just rook c8 and then rook f5, and you can't recapture, so you have to see the whole thing to the end with queen b1 and then queen h1. Yeah, again, a perfect game. I mean, I honestly, if I look at this game, I don't think even Magnus Carlsen would have been this precise as I look at this game. So it's pretty surprising. Let's leave it at that, is what I would say. It's a pretty surprising game and perfectly played. Also, apparently this account went from the rating of 1400 to 2300 in a single month. That's a 900 point rating gain, and that certainly is not normal. I mean, I've never seen that happen before. Do a game report. Sure, let's click game report. Let's see, what do we have in the way of a game report? We have 62.3% versus 94.8. so there's one mistake. What's the mistake? Knight c4 apparently. What was the right move? Rook cf7 is supposed to be better. I mean, again, it's only 26 depth, so it's not perfect, but yeah, 400 to 1400 can happen, but 1400 to 2300 cannot happen ever, is what I would say. So it's definitely a sign of something a little bit odd for sure, but yeah, perfect game base. I mean, honestly, queen f5 again, I'm pretty sure Magnus or I, we would have snap gone rook f7 for sure here and just kept the game going. So definitely something surprising, to put it mildly. But yeah, pretty much a perfect game. I mean, queen e4 maybe is wrong. They say rook ff7, I guess, but yeah, I mean, this whole rook f5 thing looks crazy to me. It just does. It's absolutely perfect game that black has played here. So a little bit odd, to put it mildly. Now there's been a lot of controversy regarding this game and an account being shut down and all this other stuff. But today I think we sort of had our moment of truth because there was the game between Dewa Kipas and Irene Sukandar from Indonesia. She's an IM, I believe. She's like close to 2400 or thereabouts, and I believe today she actually played against Dewa Kipas. I don't know if it was on YouTube or what happened, but they played. So I'm gonna actually load this 1 second, and we're gonna take a look at these games and compare them with what we just saw. This is game number 1. I believe Irene won all 3 games against Dewa Kipas. It was played live on YouTube. I believe there were like 1 million viewers or something, so it was pretty well covered. So e4 c6, d4 d5, pretty standard. Irene was white here. Takes bishop d3. This is the exchange Caro-Kann playing c3 and bishop f4, a system that I learned many years ago. It's actually the first setup that I learned to play against the Caro-Kann, courtesy of my stepfather. So this whole idea of playing like this, it's a very classic setup, played a lot by the former world chess champion Jose Raul Capablanca and also Bobby Fischer played it from time to time as well. E6, already the first inaccuracy. Normally black goes knight f6. There are a couple lines. There's queen c7 to stop bishop f4, because white wants to push up here, put the bishop here. The second line usually is knight f6 with either bishop g4 or pawn to g6, but very rarely do you go e6 here. Anyway, e6, knight f3, knight f6 castles, bishop e7, bishop f4, pretty standard from Irene. Knight e5, maybe not my favorite move. Normally you want to play knight d2 and rook e1 before you go in for this, but again, nothing wrong with it. Secondly, you'll notice it also looks a lot like a London system where you have this pawn structure and you have your two bishops here. If there was a pawn on e3, it would be exactly a London, so it's quite similar to a London system. So knight e5, knight e4, f3, okay, knight f6. Again, knight e4 is a strange move here. Surprised that Irene played f3 here. Personally, I would have just played knight d2 or rook e1, whereas now knight e5 takes, knight f6, queen c2. Okay, pretty standard. h6, knight d2, rook e1, f4, good moves. Yeah, already like knight h5 is a very weird move here. Very strange move. f4, b6, queen d1, knight f6, queen f3, bishop d7, f5. Very nice move from Irene. The idea is, again, you want to open up and have the two ops aiming towards the king. Queen f5 coming, queen c8, bishop d6. And okay, so queen c8 is just a flat out blunder, hangs the bishop. Already here, as you guys can see, it's very bad for black at this point, because what can you really do? You don't have development on the queen side. If you take, there's always like queen f5. You have to worry about this checkmate idea. So queen c8, bishop a6 takes, fe6, rook e6 takes, and apparently the game ends here after queen a6. Again, Irene could have played rook takes e6 and queen f6. You can also go queen g4. Many different ways to win, but you're up a piece. So pretty clearly a game where it doesn't, I mean, I will say it seems like I feel like black did not blunder for a long time. I will say that. I would not say this was a 1200 player. But again, this is only one game and the position was very close, so it's kind of hard to make any blunders, any grave blunders in a closed position like this. So let's pull up the second game. So in this game, Irene also had the white pieces, or no, she had the black pieces. So let's flip the board. Okay, d4, knight f6, knight f3, e6, e3, b6. Pretty standard. Okay, a3 already a little bit weird, not a traditional move. Kind of surprising, but not too crazy. Okay. Pretty normal opening. Knight f6, bishop b2, knight e4, queen d3, f6, knight g4, queen e8. Not a bad opening at all. Rook c1, queen g6, h3, rook d8. Oh, and now there's a mistake because after h5, okay, f5 is just crazy. White should go knight f2, queen g3, and king g1. And black is better. Probably there's probably some way to open up the diagonals, but it's not that bad. Anyway, f5 is just a flat out blunder, and now I think you just get mated, right? Queen g3, queen h2 takes, and I mean, yeah, and it's just a massacre. King e1, bishop g3, queen f1, and you just lose on the spot. So not terrible. Let's go to the third game. So Irene also had white here. So d4, d5. Okay, so Irene plays the London system here. Okay, c4 and b5 already a little bit dubious. Normally you don't want to go for the pawn avalanche, but it's not too crazy. e4. Okay, a3. Okay, also not crazy, but oh, and queen f6 just blunders. Knight d7, and now you just lose the game. Yeah, and now queen e4, queen e5, and queen b5, and it's, yeah, I mean, so here's what I'm gonna take with the games are all pretty short, not a whole lot to say specifically about the games. I mean, they played live in studio, I believe. I feel like here's what I'm gonna say. It's very clear to me that the black player Dewa Kipas, if that's his name, he definitely is not a beginner. I will say that. I wouldn't say that he's 1400, but based on the games and the lack of blunders, like in the openings, there are a lot like b5 is not great, but even here he takes on e4 and goes bishop b7, which again, for someone who's 1400, I would expect them to actually allow e5 and just get completely steamrolled on this whole king side. So my guess is probably, I would say about 17 to 1800. That's my guess. I would say 17 to 1800 level over the board chess is what his rating would be. that's what I would say. I would say like 1700, because he was not getting blown off the board in this match they played today. Apparently the prizes for this match were $14,000 to the winner and $7,000 to the loser. So there's a prize fund of $21,000 for this match. So this means that Irene made $14,000 and Dewa Kipas made $7,000 for this match. Or apparently about 1.3 million concurrents live who are watching. So you know, I think, you know, at the same time, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's great that I don't think it's great that there's this much money for this sort of match. That being said, I think it's pretty clear cut in terms of what we know happened in regards to the Levy game. It's pretty clear cut that that there was something that was not right about those games. Am I jealous? No. Why would I be jealous? I don't think it's necessarily correct. Again, you sort of end up in a situation where it's like this guy makes $7,000, and to use the earlier example talking about the chess economy, like the Shakura Mamadiyarov, for example, who we showed some stats from the Grand Chess Tour, finished like 8th place, finished in 8th place out of 10 in the Grand Chess Tour, made $7,500. So I mean, I think it's a little bit strange. I mean, it feels a little bit wrong to me personally that someone can lose a game like this and this happens. You don't go from playing that game against Levy to playing like this. What I will say, however, is when I look at the Levy game on the surface, to be very clear, I don't see a lot of wow moves to me. There are a couple moves that are very weird, but I didn't see any moves that actually are like wow. It's just a pure precision versus like actual moves that struck me as computer moves. I've seen other games where it's like I see certain moves, it's like that's a computer move. I saw very few moves in the Levy game that really were super computerish, although again the precision was just too high combined with the time usage. So that's what I'd say. And it's very clear that chess.com, I think they made the right decision. You know, you see the blunders in this match. There were no such blunders when he played when he was playing online versus these over the board games. So yeah, so it is what it is. I mean, to me it's much ado about nothing, but I will say it does prove a point that in terms of chess, you know, sensationalization, you seeing these matches, it is one of those things that sometimes maybe you don't agree with it, but it does raise the profile of chess. And so while, you know, perhaps I think it's a little bit far-fetched in a sense, I think it's what it is. So that's what I would say. He said his engine is 2700 or something, so maybe it's because he used some old engine against Levy. Maybe, who knows. Who knows specifically what happens. Was he invited to it because of the Levy situation? Yes, of course. So I mean, to me, I would say his rating 1700 level is my guess. That's what I think. I would say 1800. But he definitely is someone who I think has played over the board. He's definitely played over the board before. He's not a total beginner, not at all, because a lot of these moves are like that. That being said, of course, for Irene it's great. I mean, sort of it vindicates you see what the whole story is. Also for Irene, I think her name is out there now as well. She is the #1 female player from Indonesia. So again, I don't see anything wrong with it. I do feel bad for Levy, obviously. Is he a cheater? I mean, I'm not going to say with certainty that he is or he isn't. I didn't have any role in like chess.com and their decision, but chess.com closed the account, so I will let chess.com speak for them. I trust in chess.com and the decisions that they make. That's what I'm going to say. Making drama and getting paid for it, hey, it is what it is. Irene is now famous in a country with 200 million people. Great for, I mean, I mean, again, it's what it is. It's a very weird situation, but I think these games very much we know what the truth is. That's what I would say. So yeah, all right, you guys, that was fun to cover. I will say I was expecting Irene to win easier than she did. I was a little bit impressed, because I thought that, like, when people said he had played, I mean, before I was like, I kind of doubt that, but the way he played, it's pretty clear he's played before. He's not a total beginner. He's not 1400 for sure. But yeah, so I would say if anything, that's my takeaways. I assume, you know, there's certain people who've done things and like you can see they're like 1200s, but it's pretty clear he has played over the board before. She slow rolled for the audience, maybe, who knows.